What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Steph, growing in Zone 6b. If you are here for the first time, welcome for the first time. So it's mid-July. I haven't done a garden tour since mid June. So it's been a month. Let's see what's growing. So I will start outside of the garden. Look at my sage. This sage overwintered from last year. It is bushing out so well. It smells so good. Everything else in this bed died off, which was lemon balm. I'll have to replant that, but my sage is looking amazing. I actually just cut it back and it is doing well. Don't worry about all my junk over there. I'm working on building a garden shed for that. This is my Dollar Tree stackable container. As you can see, I have tatsoi growing in here. The reason that this bed looks so disheveled, this planter looks so disheveled, is because I kept having animals come and knock it down. Well, if I had some wood, I'd knock on it. Knock on wood. I haven't had any animals knocking it down. I'm gonna actually replant this. I have some kale that needs to be planted up that I grew from seed. That'll go in this bed, but this is looking healthy. This tatsoi, some pest has gotten to this. I need to cut this back, but I will do that since it is so green. Let me get this tomato out of here. I don't need any more volunteer tomato plants. Anyway, this looks like something has chewed this down, but I think if I go ahead and cut this back, that it'll be okay. These red flakes, those are red pepper flakes. That is the only thing that I have seen that has worked to keep the pest out of my garden. I have more tatsoi here with the red pepper flakes. I think it is some long leaf spinach. It's not looking amazing, but it's not dying either, so I'm gonna leave it. Over on this side, I have some peas that are pretty much done, and some spinach that looks like it is bolting. But down here I did plant some watermelons. These are yellow meat watermelons and orange meat watermelons, and they are actually doing really, really well. So I'm gonna leave them here and probably let them trellis along this mulch and let them run. That's why I purposely, when I picked this planter up, I purposely put it on the ground, because I figure they'll get large and run. Now, the next addition that I made was this chicken wire fence. It is, I think, 5 feet. I'm 5'4". This is 5 feet. It does seem to be keeping the pest out so far. And I built a new door with chicken wire that goes all the way up to there. So that's what's going on there. If we go inside the garden, this is my strawberry bed. It is growing out of control. I put like 12 strawberry plants in here, which I am now finding out I probably shouldn't have done. And look at it. I can't even find the strawberries in this thing. I did get some out the other day, and I like getting a continuous harvest. I didn't know whether these were June bearing or ever bearing, but they must be ever bearing, because I still have strawberries right there that are growing, and it's mid-July. And I would think, and I just harvested some the other day, and I would think that if these were June bearing, they would be done. The reason that I don't know what variety they are is because I got them from I got the plants from a discount store. They were like $6.99, and so I bought like 2 packs. Now, over here is my corn. I am so proud of this corn. This corn is taller than me. And look, y'all see that? It's starting to tassel. So I got some tasseling there. I got some tasseling in there. This corn is doing its thing. More tassels over there. So, I mean, look at these stalks. I have never, last year I tried to go grow corn in a container, and they fell all over and they didn't grow well. But this corn is looking good. My soil, I've been working on my soil for 3 years. I always cover with mulch and compost and cardboard at the end of the season. And I think that that's really building up my soil, and that's the reason why this corn is so successful. Also, I planted it back by the fence last year, and I think it's too shady back there. But I'm really proud of it. It's doing amazing. Now, I'll tell you what ain't doing amazing. This cucumber plant, y'all see it? It's got some leaf spot right here. It's dying back a little bit, and it's really struggling. This one is doing a little bit better, but these cucumber plants were chewed down by a rabbit. So I just left them and let them be, since they still had a couple of leaves on it. I mean, this one does have some new growth here, which is promising, and it is starting to flower there. And you can see some flowers down here, which are male. There is one female flower down there. I'm not sure if it got pollinated or not, but if you can see right here where this was chewed off. So because it is producing some new growth, I'm gonna leave it. At the same day that got chewed down, all of my green beans got chewed down. You can see, like, in comparison, this leaf compared to these leaves, how small they are. And this is dying back here, but this plant is starting to bush out again. So I'm hopeful that I'm gonna get some green beans at least by like end of August. Same thing with the rest of these plants. This one was chewed down, and even my burgundy bush beans, they were looking so beautiful, and now this is what they looking like. So, and this one might not even make it, but we're gonna see what it'll do. But you know, I remain persistent. You know, it is what it is, and yeah, I'm gonna just keep it moving. So this is my okra plants. They're finally getting there, growing a little bit taller. I got spineless and the spined okra. If you don't know what this is, these are red pepper flakes. I have them all over my bed. They are working to keep animals away. I have okra here. That's looking good. But last year, my okra was like 5 feet tall. No lie. It was like 5 feet tall. You see this grass? With all these seeds? That's not what we about to do right there. Because this right here will have me weeding grass for I don't know how long. So I'm gonna come back and get that, because we're not about to have the grass everywhere. This is another zucchini plant that is growing up. I got some grass growing through here that I really need to weed out, but in due time I'll get to it. And I think that's regular green zucchini. I don't think that's cocozelle like this one. This zucchini plant is the cocozelle. If you go back and watch my short, then you'll be able to see this plant. Look how massive it is. I mean, it definitely has some damage. Like if you look here, there's some definite chew down from probably potato beetles, or lady beetles, not ladybugs. And I've seen the lady beetle around, and she is like doing a number on these plants. So I'm gonna have to get out here and dust and take care of it, because I don't want my plants destroyed from like lady beetle. Although this don't look like no lady beetle. This looks like rabbit shoot it off, or this big hole right there, that looked like a slug or something. That's interesting. I'll have to spray this plant probably too. But in there I do have a zucchini, and that'll make zucchini number 3 for this plant. And I have another one down here right there. This plant, this variety will be probably one that I'll keep in the garden. It has been a really good producer for me. And the green zucchini didn't produce male and female flowers at the same time right in the beginning. It was a great producer, but I didn't get the male and female flowers right at the same time, and I can really appreciate getting those. So that'll be one to keep. I bought this, well, this is my Meyer lemon. It hasn't produced anything yet, but it's too early. I remember last year it didn't until like August. But let me show y'all something. This here plant I bought from where did I get this plant from? One of the Petiti's Garden Center. And look at this. I have some blooms and fruit right there, and I believe, look down there, I got some blooms and fruit right there. Now this plant is a calamandan citrus tree. It grows, it's patio variety, so I can leave it in the pot. And it is, I mean, it is doing so well. Even right here, y'all see that? So I cannot wait to get some fruit. Actually, I'm gonna have to, once the fruit comes, I'm gonna have to cover it, because the last time my Meyer lemon got some fruit, the birds came and pecked the fruit off, and I was so ticked. Anywho, don't mind that ladybug. I mean, don't mind that lightning bug. But look, right in the middle of my corn is a zinnia. I think it volunteered, but I thought that was cute. Anyway, y'all know I'll be getting sidetracked. Over here I have some sweet potatoes. As you can see, this big also got chewed down, but it is growing back nicely. It was very full, producing well, but sweet potato vines are resilient, and it's like getting a haircut. Not gonna worry about it. We'll go ahead and keep it trucking. I love sweet potatoes from the garden. They are so sweet when they are cured right. Now, look at all of these tomatoes. These are some cherry tomatoes. These were volunteers. I don't even know where these cherry tomatoes came from. Well, I know they came from the volunteers, but look how big they are. And look how many cherry tomatoes I'm gonna get. I mean, this is crazy. There's cherry tomatoes in there. All up here, look at the clusters of like flowers. That's wild to me. I didn't get this many cherry tomatoes last year. Even here, look at this cluster. I'm waiting. I think I've been looking up recipes. Don't mind my compost bin. I left it open to get some air. But I been looking up recipes for cherry tomato wine, which is what I might do. Now, a fun fact, I harvested most of my potatoes except for that one, which I'll harvest this week. This one here is dying back, and it's about time. Even though people get like large amounts of potatoes, I've gotten about 7.5 pounds this year, and that was pretty good for me. So getting better every year. I'm proud of it, and I'm gonna eat those potatoes. Now that's just a random tomato that I had on my deck. I'm really hoping that it's an Aunt Ruby's German green. When I first started my seeds indoors, I planted some Aunt Ruby's German greens, and none of them did well. But I think that one did, and I think that's it. I'm really hoping that it is. If not, I'll eat it just the same. Again, the beetles have like decimated this plant. Since all the pollinators are gone for the evening, I'm gonna go ahead and dust this evening and spray that dust off tomorrow. This is actually tiger melons, and they look pretty good. I broke this plant off by accident, and I was pretty ticked about it, but it'll grow back. And I'm looking right here. That ain't where I broke it. Something ate that. So I'm going to cover that so that they don't get to it. Now, these are all of my potatoes that I just started about a week ago. These are my other potatoes. I'm going to grow them in this box. I left this oregano for the pollinators right here so that they can continue to do their things. They like these flowers. Plus, I don't mind these seeds starting and coming back. See, there's still like a bee right there. So maybe the pollinators aren't gone. Come on, Mr. Bee. Go on about your business so I can put this dust down. Right here, I've had this covered. This is winter squash. I wanted to get my winter squash growing, and so I put it in there, and it's growing nicely. Now, right there in the back are more potatoes in my 100-gallon pouch. I got the bricks back there because of the animals digging at night, but that seemed to prevent them for a couple of days, so I'm hoping that works. Now, coming on over to this bed, I had to replant this whole thing. I mean, stuff was kind of a mess. I'm not even gonna pretend like it wasn't. I left these tomato plants here, and the funny thing is, I got a tomato plant here which looks like it's gonna be either aroma or like an oblong like tomato. I don't know what it's called, what is a little bit larger than a cherry. Y'all know what I'm talking about, whatever that thing is. So that's gonna be that. I have this jalapeno plant right here, and I don't really even eat jalapenos. Every now and then I'll eat like pickled jalapenos. I do make those, but this thing is producing out of control. I mean, there's blooms everywhere. So I moved this plant here because you see how it's yellow at the bottom, and it was like struggling. I moved this plant out of a different bed to here, and I'm hoping that it does okay. I also moved these plants. They're yellowish too. I had them planted close to my tomatoes, but I don't think that they like that spot. And since this jalapeno is doing so well, I figured I would move them over here. I did give them some fish emulsion to see what they would do. I don't think they have any bloom. Oh, this one does. It has one little pepper right there trying to grow. But the rest, I'm just waiting on these to kind of reestablish themselves. That one has a couple there. They were just really struggling. That's a sriracha. This one here is a sriracha. This is a sweet bell. This is a giant Marconi. This is a yellow bell. And that's a green bell. I have some other pepper plants that I'm going to move as soon as I figure out where I'm going to put them. Now, one thing to note that I did differently with this bed is I put this green fencing down, which this isn't a good time for me to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I put this green fencing down and I cut little holes for everything to come through. And I think this is what I'll do next year. Let the roots grow into the ground and put the netting down and prevent the animals from digging that way. I did the same thing with the bed in the back and it seems to be working. Now here's my ground cherries, and although they are getting large, they are full of holes. Like I said, I've had those beetles in here eating up stuff. But I do have some ground cherries growing. Quite a few actually. Well, not quite a few, but I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this plant. And I have some on this plant. And this new growth here doesn't have any damage on it. So I think that's promising. There's also some flowering there, which is promising. I ripped out most of the carrots in this bed because they were just done. This is my cherry tree right here. It's doing all right. It got kind of knocked back. Something was stepping in here and then knocked this back some. It's damaged, but it'll come back. Over here is my cantaloupe and a couple of tomatoes. I got tomatoes everywhere. In case y'all haven't noticed, I have tomatoes everywhere. See, right there. You see them beetles? That's what you don't want. Right there. And there's 1 and there's 2. And they about to be dead. Excuse me, y'all. Let me kill these beetles. Okay, back to my regularly scheduled. Oh shoot, I missed one. Get out of there. Get your butt out of there. Get your butt out of there. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled program. I do not want these beetles in here. I don't know how I got all these beetles this year, but it's always something. Anyway, cantaloupe. These are all cantaloupes right here. They are doing well. I wasn't even hopeful because some of these got really chewed down. And in fact, I got tired of saying, if I'm being completely honest, I got tired of saying that stuff was chewed down, so I wasn't even going to make this video. This cilantro is dead because it got stepped on, and that's a tomato plant. I was like, I ain't gonna show y'all this stuff. Everything I keep saying, stuff got chewed down, stuff got chewed down. But you know what? That's real life. With gardening, you take the good with the bad and you get what you can. But I'm gonna be smarter next year about the way that I do this bed. And I also bought some traps that'll help. Now, look at this cherry tomato plant. That's massive. There's all these blooms. If nothing else, y'all, if I don't get nothing else, I'm gonna get some cherry tomatoes. I mean, I may not get another thing, but I'm gonna get these cherry tomatoes because look how many blooms. I mean, there's blooms all up there, blooms all right there. This plant is loaded. Literal, probably hundreds of blooms everywhere. And, you know, I'm going to just go on and let them do their thing. I mean, right here, hundreds of plants. I mean, hundreds of blooms. All these tomatoes. All of these tomatoes here. I got so many tomatoes. I mean, if I don't get another thing, I'm going to get some tomatoes. Down here is my eggplant. More tomatoes back there. A gang of tomatoes back there. And all along this trellis. This is starting to flower. Although, and fruit right there, I think it had dropped some flowers. This has been dropping flowers. See that? I don't know why this plant is dropping flowers, but I have to figure that out. Although, I think right here I might get some fruit too. So I should get 2 or 3 eggplants going. This plant is getting kind of big, so I'm hoping to get some fruit soon. Down here is my cucumbers. I think I only have one on here somewhere, wherever it was. Can't find it. All of these are male flowers, but there was one female on here, but I don't know where it is now. But with all of these male flowers, I should have female flowers real soon. And I should get, oh, right here. And it looked like it got pollinated too. So with all of these male flowers, I should get some female flowers soon. My watermelon vines are trellising nicely. This is the first year that my watermelon vines don't look completely sad. And I am thrilled about it. There is one tiny watermelon right there. I'm hoping it got pollinated. If it didn't, I know that there'll be more. There's that vine kind of coming out this way. There's this vine coming through the fence like this. And if I walk around out of cherry tomato jungle over here, I planted some extra watermelon vines just in case I don't get none off of that, because I can't play no games, y'all. I got to get some watermelons this year. These are all, oh, there's one little baby one right there too. All right. Hey, this plant been looking sad since I put it in here. I should go on and rip this out, but I'm keeping hope alive. But it ain't looking good. That's looking like it's getting ready to die. These are the same watermelon plants that are growing through the fence on the other side. They looking real healthy though, right here and right here. Now I need to weed, but I ain't getting ready to do that today. So we're gonna just keep on with this video like we don't see all these weeds right here. So anywho, let me go on and turn around, because I ain't getting ready to do no weeding tonight. Now, these are the pepper plants that I said I probably need to move. They looking yellowish too. They are producing, but I just don't like that they're looking kind of yellowish. Especially this one in the back. It's not even getting any light. So I'm going to move all of these pepper plants to a different location. And I'm sure they will do better. I need to stake this one. It's going to break if I don't stake it. It's got a pepper right here that is, actually that one looks healthy. But the rest, they looking sad, and I need to move them. I think they're competing with these tomato plants that I'm getting ready to show you. Got some bee balm. Bees are loving it. Planted that last year in this very too small pot. I'm gonna have to do something about that, but that's also ain't gonna happen today. So here are my tomatoes. So moving on over to my tomatoes, I have these tomatoes here. I don't know what variety. I think they like Siberian something. Also, I got some Romas here, and a huge Roma. Looks like, I think this is a Roma down here. That mug is huge, which lets me know that they can get large. These are beautiful. If anybody knows what kind of tomato this is, let me know. They look kind of weird looking. This is some kind of heirloom variety, but I gotta look back on my Etsy and see what I ordered. That one looks kind of strange, but all of them are. Even that one back there looks kind of strange right there. So they all have like these lines in them, so I'm not sure. This red lettuce is not really hanging on down here. I planted it underneath, see, and it's sort of doing all right. If I drop some shade cloth over it, it'll probably be all right, but really it's probably time for it to go. Now, the best tomatoes that I have growing right now are these beefsteaks. Look, in comparison to my hand, look at the size of this tomato. Like, it's almost as big as the palm of my hand. I have never grown a tomato that big. These beefsteaks are showing off. I have another one right there, and I even have some smaller ones here and here that are really nice size. So these are definitely a variety that I will keep in my garden. These are not producing that well, but I'm gonna see what they do. I think I pruned them too much, y'all. And this one too, there's only like 2 on here, so I might actually, this plant isn't even growing anymore. So after these ripen up, I may actually go ahead and pull these tomatoes, because there's no new growth except for a little bitty like sucker right here, and it's just not producing well. And I can provide some more airflow to my garden. If they ain't gonna be growing, then it can't be taking up no space. Same thing with this one. It has a lot of foliage, but it only has 1 tomato here, 1 tomato here, and I guess at least this one does have some new flowers right there, which really need to be pollinated. Probably. I'm gonna give them a little shake. And it has some right there. I'm gonna see how they do, but they just not doing that great of a job. And so I'm not for leaving stuff where it ain't growing good. I'll pull it if it ain't gonna do right. Over here, I had a cluster that didn't form. All of these, I don't know why they do that, but this one made it, and that one is humongous as well. And you know, right over here is all of my red onions. As you can see, they are bulbing up nicely. I did utilize my clay soil, y'all, to do this. This is actually a new bed that I amended. When I made that video to amend your soil, this is the bed that I created. So all of these onions are doing well. They are growing well. They are healthy. It'll rain tomorrow, so they'll get some rain. And yeah, they'll do good. Now, I let this dill go to seed. I'm probably going to have dill all over this bed by next year. But that's okay, because some of my dill was chewed down. And so, I need some dill anyway. Now, the last thing that I will show you guys is my berry bushes. These are early season and late season producers. So this raspberry bush will not produce anything else until probably like September. That's when it happened last year. Same thing with this one. This one actually has some disease that I have to manage. If y'all look at the whole side of this one, I need to prune this out. So I'm gonna heavy prune this plant probably in the next week or so and spray it down. Maybe I might not spray it down. I'll probably just prune it and see what it does. This is a blackberry bush that I put in last year that's growing kind of slow, but it'll eventually catch up. I have some asparagus here growing and a few itty bitty blackberries. Now I only put this bush in just this year, so that's all I got. I'm gonna eat them just the same, but since this is the first year, I wasn't expecting a whole lot. Nothing in this in this Dollar Tree planter, except for a few strawberry plants, that one there. So if y'all keep hanging in there with me, these are my tomatoes. Some of them are producing really well and some of them aren't. I don't remember the names of these. I ordered them off Etsy. They are all heirloom varieties. This one is okay. It's got 1, 2, 3 tomatoes on it. It's got like 4 or 5. Okay. We'll see how that does. I don't really find that impressive for a tomato plant. I usually get a ton of tomatoes. This one is doing okay. I really like the size of that one down there, so I'm hoping that I get more production out of this plant here. This one down here I do have a tag for. This is a it's supposed to be a Brandywine black heirloom beefsteak type tomato, but this ain't no Brandywine black. I ordered this off Etsy unless I mixed up my tags. I don't know what type of tomato this is. If anybody knows, let me know. One thing that I find interesting is a lot of this tomato is kind of doing this weird stuff here. I found 2 or 3 like that, and it has even with this one, it has like a line in it. All of these have lines in it, and this one right here, if y'all can see, has some holes in it right there. So I don't know that this is a variety that I will grow again, although I do like the smoothness of it, and I'm curious to see if it's actually going to taste good, but it's not producing that well. Now this here, get this little pollination while I'm over here. Little pollination. This one over here has been a showstopper. This tomato has put out some humongous fruit. Look at the size of this tomato right here. That's not even the biggest one. The biggest one, and these are starting to blush, are down here. Look at the size. That's as big as the palm of my hand. This one back here is even like bigger than that, and there is a third one right there. So I am thoroughly impressed with this beefsteak tomato, and it is still producing on the other side. If I look through and I move that, see, there is more tomatoes on that side. Now here is another one that never got any taller. Between my 3 blackberries, my 1 blueberry, I'm all the way live, y'all. All right, enough of being silly. That's gonna do it. This is my garden space. If you hang in with me for this long, I appreciate you. If you tapped out because this video was too long, you probably ain't gonna see this. You ain't gonna see this part, but I appreciate you too. Y'all take care. Happy growing, and remember, regardless of what's going on, it's always a good day to have a good day. And I'll see y'all on the next one. All right, bye for now.